Okay, welcome to the show. Yeah, my name is Dutch, and this is my first video. This is going to be a political news channel, but not really a news channel, in that it's going to have a massive left wing bias, and I'm going to be tackling topics that I am interested in. So, some current events will be missed. In fact, many current events will be missed. But if you are fine with a left wing bias, in fact, not just a left wing bias, but a socialist bias, then this is the show for you. If you are a conservative, go to Fox News or Newsmax or any of the corporate owned mainstream media, which is being further and further consolidated by the Trump administration right now. So, today, I'm going to be talking about my first topic, which is a topic that's extremely important to me. It's this false Israel-Palestine ceasefire that the Trump administration is pretending will actually foster a long-term peace in the Middle East. This is not happening. We're seeing Israel constantly violate this fake ceasefire deal in Gaza, making it not a ceasefire at all. If one side of the equation is consistently shooting, it is not a ceasefire. So we're going to check out an article today and a video. So give me 1 second. So here's the article. It's a really great article. It is titled, "In the Occupied West Bank, the War Continues." It is by Mohammed Al-Keek. It's a very good article. We're going to check it out today. So let's give this a read. The article states, "It has been a week since the ceasefire was announced in Gaza. When we heard the news in the occupied West Bank, we celebrated. We felt relief and hope that the genocide is finally over. But we also realized that there is no ceasefire for us. The daily violence we have been subjected to for decades is showing no signs of abating. Since October 7th, 2023, the brutality of our occupier has only intensified. Today, life in the West Bank has become impossible." After the ceasefire was announced, a friend's little daughter cheered. She then asked to go with her grandparents to pick olives. He told her that it would be difficult to do, to which she responded, "Why? Isn't the war over?" How do you explain to a child that the war ending in Gaza does not mean Palestinian families in the West Bank can still access their land to harvest olives? People still cannot reach their groves because of barriers set up by the Israeli military or the fear of attacks by Israeli soldiers and settlers, or both. There are daily violent assaults on Palestinian farmers and their land. Since October 7th, 2023, there have been 7,154 attacks by Israeli settlers on Palestinian people and property, some of them deadly. Almost 1,000 Palestinians have been killed by the Israeli army and settler mobs, including 212 children. More than 10,000 Palestinians have been displaced. Settlers and soldiers have destroyed 37,237 olive trees since October 7th, 2023. Even life in urban areas has become unbearable. As a resident of Rawabi, a city north of Ramallah, I too feel the suffocation of this occupation every day. If I need to travel outside my city to run errands, shop, obtain official paperwork, or anything else, I could get stuck at a checkpoint for hours and never make it to my destination. There are 4 iron gates, a military tower, and a barrier between Rawabi and Ramallah. They can make the 10-minute trip between Rawabi and Ramallah last an eternity. Throughout the West Bank, there are 916 Israeli barriers and iron gates, 243 of which are constructed after October 7th, 2023. These open and close at the Israeli army's whim, meaning a Palestinian can get stuck at one barrier for hours. This disrupts every aspect of life, from family visits to urgent medical care to school attendance and transportation of goods. We have also been denied access to Jerusalem, and thus our freedom of worship at the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Few Palestinians are given special permits needed to enter the city. We last had access to Jerusalem more than 20 years ago. This means an entire generation of young people know nothing about the city except from the pictures and stories told by their parents and grandparents. Even at night, the Palestinians are not left alone by the occupation. Any Palestinian home may be subject to a raid by the Israeli army, with soldiers breaking the front door, terrorizing the family inside, and detaining without charge some of its members. Neighbors would, too, be terrorized, with Israeli soldiers firing tear gas canisters for no reason, just to cause more suffering. The right to a normal life, to worship, to spend quality time with friends and family, to move freely, to access regular medical care and education are all denied to the Palestinians in the West Bank. Over the decades since the occupation of 1967, Israel has managed to control almost half of the land of the West Bank. It has done so by constructing settlements and confiscating land from its Palestinian owners by declaring it either state land or military zone. The theft of Palestinian land accelerated after October 7th. At least 12,300 acres were seized in 2 years. In many cases, confiscated land is used to establish new settlement outposts or to expand existing settlements. Settlement construction in the West Bank is not random. Rather, land is selected in a way that encircles Palestinian villages and towns, creating a settlement belt around them that prevents any form of geographical continuity between Palestinian territories, thus thwarting the dream of a future state. To maintain these illegal settlements, Israel has also laid hands on the West Bank's natural resources. It has seized almost all water resources. This has ensured a massive water reservoir in the West Bank to serve the settlement expansion. For the Palestinians, this has been disastrous. They are almost completely dependent on Israeli water companies, which give very small quotas of water to densely populated Palestinian areas, while settlers receive several times the Palestinian share per capita. Every summer, when drought settles in, Palestinians are forced to buy extra water at exorbitant prices from Mekorot. Meanwhile, Palestinian wells and rainwater tanks are often attacked and destroyed. Since October 7, 2023, the Israeli government has accelerated its efforts to carry out annexation. We feel that the seizure of Area C, an area established by the Oslo Accords, where Israel has full civilian and security control, is imminent. This would mean razing Palestinian villages and communities and expelling people towards Area A, which constitutes just 18% of the West Bank. Area B will follow. The process of forced expulsion has already started with Bedouin communities in 2 areas. This is our reality here in the West Bank. While peace conferences and meetings were held and peace in the Middle East is declared, we know nothing of it. Every day, every hour, every minute, we are harassed, intimidated, dispossessed, and killed. For decades, Israel has rejected political solutions and pursued a policy of controlling land, people, and resources. It has continued to wage war on us, even when its bombardment has stopped. The only way to achieve true peace is to acknowledge the occupation and end it. Yeah, this is an excellent article. Again, shout out to Mohammed Al-Keek. I read this, and it's so true. It's so heartbreaking. Despite the fact that the Trump administration, which in part is responsible for this genocide, declares peace and masturbates over its accomplishments, people in Gaza and across Palestine are still being killed, are still being starved, are still being made victims of. This will not end until we recognize Israel as the apartheid state that it is, and recognize that a secular state needs to exist. So this isn't the only thing. We've been seeing over and over again, as I mentioned at the beginning, that Israel is repeatedly breaking this fake ceasefire and is just actively killing more Palestinians while still declaring that peace has been made and blaming it on the Palestinians over and over again, despite the fact that Palestine has not yet broken the treaty, the ceasefire treaty, but Israel continues to repeatedly do so. So we're going to check out this video here, which I think is very, very tragic, of some of the victims that Israel has made during this fake ceasefire. See, bodies torn to pieces during a ceasefire. That does not make sense. Bodies do not get torn to pieces during a ceasefire. They get torn to pieces during war, during a genocidal campaign. This is a fake ceasefire while the people of Gaza are continuing to struggle and families are being eviscerated.
طبعا تحركت الطواقم صبيحة هذا اليوم بعد تنسيق مع منظمة الأوتشا لندخل إلى المنطقة لنتفاجأ بالكارثة الموجودة هناك. تم استهداف المركبة بشكل مباشر. انتشلنا 9 من الأشخاص. هناك أيضا طفلين صغيرين كانوا في المركبة، لكن على ما يبدو أنهم قد انتهشتهم الكلاب الضالة.
الهدنة على الورق، على أرض الواقع إحنا بنموت. على أرض الواقع هاي أرض الواقع، هاي الهدنة. باللون الأحمر الهدنة قامت كلها. إيش
العملية من
Yeah, 40 times, 43 times. You violate a ceasefire 47 times, whatever. Fucking 100 times. You violate it more than once, it's not a ceasefire. Benjamin Netanyahu needs to be arrested as a war criminal. The state of Israel shouldn't even exist. The fact that we allow this genocidal nation to continue existing, to continue blowing up children, is a complete stain on the entire planet. Jesus. Big play button's in the way, but look at that rubble. Just look at that. Yeah, so there's that video. Okay, so yeah, so as you can see, this so-called peace agreement, ceasefire, whatever, is a complete farce. Palestinian people are suffering every day, and nobody should be giving Donald Trump or Benjamin Netanyahu credit. They are war criminals, and Donald Trump is continuing to aid and abet a genocide despite the fact that he's claiming to make peace. Benjamin Netanyahu is a genocidal war criminal who's wanted by multiple international organizations. And if you take anything away, it's to understand that a ceasefire is not the way to solve this crisis. It's to recognize the Israeli occupation for what it is, an occupation, an illegal occupation over lands that are not its. So I hope you enjoyed my first video today. I know some of it can be rough, but I'm only going to get better every video. I'm going to keep on talking about things I care about. I'm going to keep on fighting like hell for things I care about. And this channel will continue. I'm going to keep on covering news. I'm going to keep on speaking better, getting clearer. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for checking out my first video here. Bye-bye.